You have no idea how stupid I am.
You have to tweak the gay out of it.
Hello and welcome, episode number 105 of Unrelenting, live on the mighty No Agenda stream, live on X, and completely unfunded for today. The Boostergrams are open, Gene.
All right. Well, that's we've been funded for a long time, so it's probably not a bad thing to have one episode where we can speak the truth and not be beholden to our advertisers.
Yes, whoever they may be.
Yeah, whoever they may be, and if they protest about us speaking over them and things like that, well, screw them.
We do not have any overlords.
No advertisers here. Just people who donate.
Not even any underlords. It's another Friday.
Did you check for the under what are they called? The underwear gnomes?
The underwear gnomes. That was a South Park bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching. I mean, it's great now that their seasons are like 5 episodes. You can watch a season in
or
like
2.
Yeah. Like, what's this all about?
Yeah.
They've really slowed down production.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think they don't want to work too hard. I think their schedule currently is we'll come out with an episode whenever there's some kind of disaster that happens.
And it has to be the easiest show in the world to make at this point.
At this point.
The graphics are not good. They have not changed.
Right. They're actually done in 3D, but with 2D models,
which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think by now they would have an AI just doing the whole thing.
It's pretty damn close because, they have at least one video game, maybe 2 out, but for sure one that I've looked at. And that video game looks identical to the cartoon. Like you're literally moving characters around in the cartoon.
Which means if you could do that for a video game, you can now just program an episode.
Yeah.
Like put Cartman and Stan in Stan's room and boom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's all you got to do. Come on, Kyle.
Exactly. It's, I mean, they are topical. They're always enjoyable. The last episode that I watched was the adult one.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious.
Uh-huh. And
it reminded me of why we're not on OnlyFans.
Right?
Like, wait, but really, I guess what else is it for guys? And it's like, it was hilarious when the wife's like, I could do
podcasts.
Better.
That's for guys.
Podcasts are for guys, OnlyFans are for girls.
Exactly. It's kind of the same thing. One makes money, the other one doesn't, but pretty much the same.
Yeah, and the one makes money.
Yeah, when Sharon said that she's tired of Randy doing this and she could make more.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, you try.
With like 4,000 people immediately. Like, what? I mean, the fact that you have to watch the episode, but the concept that his whole idea for OnlyFans was basically doing a podcast with his schlong hanging out. That was pretty much the content.
Now, wait, hold on. How's that different from podcasts?
I guess not different at all, except we don't do video.
No video.
No.
Turn that shit off.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want people looking at you.
You're going to have to go on to OnlyFans for that.
That's extra.
Yeah.
And nobody's paying for that.
Absolutely nobody. Hell, nobody's even paying for this.
This is true. So I guess what's the difference?
Yeah, really.
We are transitioning to OnlyFans as we speak.
Might as well. So how have you been?
Good. Just another Friday morning with a brand new Taylor Swift variant drop for the new album coming up.
Yeah, of course. That makes total sense.
Genius marketing, baby.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of albums sold, although the media is all in on starting to take Taylor down. I've seen a bunch of articles now on how a lot of her fans want to sue over the crappy merchandise and the horrible customer service that they're getting from Universal Music.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how anybody's surprised by bad customer service. My parents had my nephew and my sister over, and they were going to do a pizza. So my sister went to pick up the pizza, and they had pre-ordered it. A lot of these places allow you to do it. You get up at like 8 a.m, whatever it is. You could do it the day before. You're like, I want this tomorrow at 12:30 because it's her lunch hour. You got to have it in, get it in, boom, be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up waiting for over 45 minutes. So my mom called and complained, and the woman, her only thing was, yeah, but I'm here alone.
Oh, I've gotten that before for similar reasons.
And it's like, but that's not an excuse. You're running your business poorly.
Yeah, exactly. It's not an excuse. It's a statement of fact.
Right. Like, I'd like to help you, but what do you want me to do? I was here alone. So the fact that you ordered your pizza in advance and it was a 45 minutes late, I was here alone.
Yeah, exactly. I've had that happen, but worse. I get the order from, first of all, Domino's, which is not exactly a small company. Pizza shows on screen as left the store, right? So that means it should be here in a few minutes. Domino's is like a mile away. And then 45 minutes goes by. And no pizza and nothing. So I called the store and the phone rings forever. Finally, they pick up and I said, can I talk to the manager? He says, yeah, this is the manager. And so I had a pizza order and it left the store according to your app 45 minutes ago. And I still haven't seen it. Oh, what's your name and address? Okay, look it up. Yeah, that should be going out soon. Like, wait, what do you mean going out soon? So it didn't leave the store when you guys said it left the store? Yeah, no, the computer sometimes just it says that, at the wrong time. Like, okay, so it's going out now, so I should have it in a few minutes. And the guy's like, hold on. Comes back, it's like, yeah, no, it looks like we actually canceled that order. Like, what do you mean you canceled that order? That didn't come up. It looked like it charged me. Yeah, we just understaffed. I'm the only guy here right now.
Oh, man.
It's leaving the store. You're canceled it. He's like, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, you're not getting your food. We didn't tell you you're not getting your food.
I'm like, well, that's not good. Then what do you want me to do? He says, well, if you come out here, you can pick it up yourself.
So it's like you have people to make it. You just don't have somebody to deliver it. I'm
like, well, I mean, I could, not really what I ordered though. It's wait, do you want me to come out and help you work?
Right. You need, right.
I mean, I used to work at Domino's when I was 16.
I could probably still flip a pizza or two.
I could totally flip a pizza, dude. I was a kick-ass pizza flipper.
Like, you need some help. Come on.
And I get to this. I drive out there, right? Because I want my pizza.
Well, yeah, there are certain things you just can't live without.
No. Well, not when you're you're expecting it already. Okay. There's a difference. Like if I knew the store was closed, I wouldn't have ordered. But since I ordered, then it's like, God damn it. All right, fine. I'll drive out there. So I drive out there. They haven't started making my pizza. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Well, we didn't think you were coming out. Oh my God.
This is the customer service level that one can expect today, I guess.
Exactly. And in fact, relating this story from my first day when I was 16 at Domino's Pizza, on the first day there, they just had me answering phone calls because that's how you store pizza, and then putting in orders. And then I didn't do anything with the food, and I didn't drive it or anything. I was just learning the phones. And one of those phone calls came in, said, gave me an order for a few pizzas, and we were super busy. And me being an honest person back then, at least, I said, oh, and just to let you know, we're running, we're really busy right now. So we're running a little late. So the pizza might be like 35, 40 minutes because there was a 30-minute guarantee. And then I get the manager walks out and says, hey, I need to talk to you. I said, yeah, what's up? So did you just tell somebody that our pizza was going to be more than 30 minutes? I said, well, yeah, that's because that's what the drivers coming in are saying. And he's like, yeah, you never say that. You never tell somebody that pizza is going to be more than 30 minutes late because there's a 30-minute guarantee. And the store owner just called to order pizza, or the store owner's wife, and you told her it was going to be more than 30 minutes, and she's pretty upset. She wants you fired.
Like, see you later.
Yeah. And the guy and I was obviously like, what the fuck? And the guy is like, well, I told her it's your first day and you weren't properly trained yet, and explained it away. But boy, that lesson you remember like 40 years later. You never say the pizza will be late because there's a fucking guarantee. But it's nowadays, I guess they don't tell you it's late, but they just cancel the order.
And that takes them totally off the hook for the 30-minute guarantee, I guess.
Well, they got rid of those because of the excess car accidents.
Oh, yeah, I can understand that.
And I was one of those.
Oh, nice.
But it was, it wasn't what you think. I was on duty for Domino's.
On duty, officer duty. I was driving back with dough. I went to the dough warehouse. Is that what the kids are calling it today?
Not that kind of dough. So I literally had a station wagon that was full of pizza dough. And I was sitting there right at the store waiting to turn into the parking lot. And I got rear-ended by a Pizza Hut driver.
Well, that's not bad enough. You got rear-ended as a Domino's guy.
Uh-huh.
But it was a Pizza Hut guy.
Yeah.
The Pizza Wars of 2004.
Yeah, 2000. No, more like 1980 something. And it was, I mean, my car got totaled. And it smelled like pizza.
Well, it was totaled, so it didn't really matter that it smelled like pizza.
Well, but I didn't have a car for a while, right? So that's not a good thing. It was middle of winter. It was freezing cold. And of course, we had to stand outside as we talked to the cop to fill out the forms. Because God forbid somebody had enough of a brain cell to walk into the pizza or into the Domino's.
Was it like 20 degrees out?
Away. It was probably about 0.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I remember it being very, very cold at the moment. And I was like, why are we outside? So yeah, pretty lame. So anyway, that's the story for Domino's. And for a while after the accident, I used to get free pizza, but at some point I got sick of pizza, I guess.
Yeah, even when it's free, man. And
yeah,
it seems like it's free. Ever since you turned X on, you've been roboting a little bit. I don't know if you're having a bandwidth or
I've noticed you've got a little bit of that as well. So maybe I don't know what settings look right. So I'm not sure what else it could be.
Maybe it's Zoom not zooming very well.
Maybe it's an AT&T outage that it's trying to work around.
It could be.
I don't know.
I did see like, problem enabled, unencrypted connection live stream. Well, I'm assuming that's what you got.
Oh, no, not an unencrypted connection. I know. That's not good.
For a live podcast that's being publicly broadcast anyway.
Right. Exactly.
Like, let me turn that off.
I didn't even know you could unencrypt or decrypt.
I'm assuming that was just because now, do you send it to X directly from Zoom, or are you just routing it? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's going directly. I mean, that's one of the cool things about Zoom is that you don't even need to be running OBS. You could just do it directly out of Zoom.
You just zoom it out, but then it takes all your CPU, although you should have plenty with that.
It's on the Mac that's doing literally nothing else. And the CPU is at 14%.
Something weird, man. Maybe it's just the interface. Maybe it's all screwed up. But of course, that means you can't reboot the interface without rebooting your X connection and your and everything else.
Well, I can't reboot Zoom if that's what you mean.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That is that is streaming. If it sounds bad, we can certainly just start and stop it and reboot it because, we don't want it to sound bad. Because the way I look at it, the whole X thing is like, that's not the product.
Right.
That's the behind the scenes of the product. That's the making of.
It's the scene behind the scene behind the scene.
In fact, it's only available for about a week until I remember to delete the episodes. It's the X version is not meant to be there permanently. It is literally my equivalent of the No Agenda stream.
It's there to be live.
It's there to be live, and or if you missed it that day. But by the time the episode comes out, and you put them out same day. I usually take a couple days because of all the heavy editing that I do.
Yeah, I mean, so much editing. I mean, Gene takes 4 hours of conversation and turns it into a 6-hour podcast somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Although oh my God, dude, can we talk about the podcasts out there that have an ad every 15 minutes?
Yeah, I can't handle it.
What the fuck, dude? I don't care if the ad read is done by the people doing the show. That's just too many ads.
Yeah, that's even worse when it's by the reader of the show. I mean, it's even worse now that people are starting to do ad reads on YouTube videos. So it's like, to me, that's a very quick unsubscribe because it's like, I paid my money for no ads on YouTube.
No ads. Exactly.
So the minute in the middle of your show, when you come out with, well, let me tell you about Harry's Razors, or let me tell you about.
Well, yeah. And I'm not a fan of any ads, obviously, but the ads that happen like right at the beginning or at the very end, okay, I can put up with that shit if they're doing their own ad read. But when they do ad reads, and this is true for both podcasts and for YouTube, it's actually, I think, worse in podcasts because generally if I'm listening to a podcast, I'm not near the device, or it's like, I'm maybe lying in bed listening to something as I'm falling asleep, and I don't want to listen to ads when I fall asleep. But yeah, some of these guys, like I was listening to some of these like comedian podcasts. Like, do you people not make enough money that you need to literally have an ad 4 times an hour on a fucking podcast?
Well, for a lot of them, it's just their content.
Well, this was definitely advertising because it is for Harry's Razors.
No, I know, but that's what they rely on to fill their time.
Okay, but then do a half-hour show.
Yeah,
because the ads just they make me do what you just said, which is hit the unsubscribe button.
Surly Mofo wants more Poncho ads.
Yeah, we're done with those for a while.
Yeah, they're out of stock except for direct from Gene.
Mm-hmm.
So now you need a Poncho guy. You go directly to Gene.
Yeah, what did I say? Free ponchos or any $50 donation?
$50 donation right to Unrelenting. You can have a free Poncho 3-pack.
Mm-hmm.
Was that, or is it you're just?
Yeah, it's a 3-pack. It's a 3-pack. Yeah.
Shipping included.
And by the way,
are you going to hit them with $49.95 for shipping?
For shipping? No. I'll include the shipping. I think shipping's about $5 in these things. Or whatever the minimum is that USPS charges. I don't even know what that is. Might be $6.
You're going up, up, up.
They are going up. That's true.
And you know what I noticed? They're doing, because the only time I watch commercials is with the racing stuff that I watch live. The post office is advertising like every freaking break. Oh, USPS. It's like improving for you. It's like, why are you spending money on ads for the post office?
Yeah, people already know about it. It's been around for a couple of years.
Yeah. Who are you getting that's like, oh, I wasn't going to send this with them, but now I will. Give me one fucking customer you're getting with a post office ad. And you wonder why the prices keep going up.
Yeah.
Advertising. That's the problem the post office
It probably is their single biggest expense probably is advertising.
Uh-huh.
I believe it.
Like, you don't need to advertise. People know you're there.
Yep.
You deliver their mail to them every day. They're aware of the service. Like,
That's
I don't
nuts,
get it.
Man.
I guess they have a lot of extra money they have to spend. Although that's similar to Washington, D.C. I guess there was just a story that they gave away a bunch of money to, the underprivileged, the folks who don't have it.
Yeah.
And they let them choose between, do you want like $900 a month, or do you want just like a lump sum, 10,000 something?
No, we're talking about drug addicts here.
Pretty much, I guess, people that live in DC.
Yeah.
And they're finding out that what some of these poor underprivileged folks did, they took the $10,000 and just had a luxury vacation. And that's what they blew the whole amount on.
Well, it makes sense. Something they normally couldn't afford.
But this is the concept of, oh no, we'll help you out. We'll give you money so you can pay for food for your poor children and clothe your poor children. And they're like, fuck that, I'm going to Miami.
Well, hold on. Food is free and all that shit's free, basically. You just have to know where to get it.
You just walk into a Macy's and don't pay.
Exactly. Or an Apple store and pick up a new iPhone and then don't pay. But a vacation, good luck stealing that.
True. Nobody can take that from you once you've had it.
It's just it's all easily explained.
You're right. Nobody can repossess your vacation.
No.
If you go buy a vehicle, you go buy jewelry, you go buy gold with that money, and the government don't like it, they can come repossess that somehow.
Totally.
Your vacation, can't do nothing about that.
Nope.
So maybe this is genius. I'll give that. Can't take it back.
No. But I certainly don't think it's unexpected.
No, I don't think it's unexpected either. I think this is the exact reason why you hear a lot of people say, you can't give money to the people begging on the street because they're just going to go use it on drugs and alcohol. And that's true for a vast majority, because a lot of people have done the experiment, I guess, for lack of a better word, where somebody comes up like, hey, got the sign, they're just looking to go get a coffee or they're looking to go get a sandwich. And you're like, you know what? I'll take you into Burger King, whatever.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
Right, and buy you the meal. Nope. We just want the cash. Like, oh, okay. That's how you can tell. I mean, I guess if you really want to be good, you could just carry around, $5 Burger King gift cards, but then they'll just go sell those for $1 so they can get the drug money.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah, I think that's just reality.
The new reality, the Biden economy. And it's interesting when you're watching now what's going on because of the polling numbers, I guess, or it's all a scam, which is also possible. But Biden all of a sudden is like, oh no, we got to control this border thing. And it's very interesting because this is although.
Did he actually say that? Or did he just say we could have controlled the border if the Republicans would have just passed a bill?
You're really starting to robot now.
Really? Okay.
So I don't know if we need to try restarting the Zoom, or maybe I can just try restarting my connection. Are you getting the same thing on the other end?
No, the biggest issue that I've had with you is similar to the last time, which is just if you're not loud enough, then it feels like it's like a noise gate is shutting down.
Yeah, this is definitely roboting.
Roboting? Yeah. Okay.
Let me restart the Zoom thing and see if that does it.
Okay. Let's do it.
Oh, no. This is the beautiful live streaming right here on the Mighty No Agenda stream. Turns out maybe the Zoom thing is not as good as Clean Feed. Gene swore it was going to be as good. I was going to be revolutionary. Zoom is so much better, so much cleaner, so much clearer. So far, not really seeing that. Yes, we are trying to do unroboting NetNed. That is the term that is well understood. Join with computer audio. Yes, please.
You're still on mute?
Yeah, we are trying to... let's see. Okay, here we unmuted now.
You're off mute. Yeah. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Trying to see if we can unrobot everything. That sounds okay for now. We'll see how this goes.
Okay. All right.
But the intriguing thing with what Biden is doing at the border is, for all of this time, my buddy Bill O'Reilly's been saying the same thing, that it's within the president's purview. He has, with a stroke of a pen, he alone can give an executive order that can shut down who's coming over the border. You don't need Congress.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. He doesn't need to give an executive order. He needs to rescind his executive order allowing people to come through.
Right. Well, there's
a difference here.
Well, it's
like the default condition is no one comes through. That's what he fucked up. That was an active fucking up of the border by the current president.
Yes, because they wanted everybody to come in.
Somebody did.
The 1952,
I'm not sure it was Biden even.
Yeah, well, he signed the papers. We can at least agree on that much, whether he knew he was signing them.
Yeah.
The 1952 Immigration Act makes it very clear that the president, pretty much alone, gets to decide a lot about what's going on. Now, Biden has been telling you, which has all been a lie, for 3 years, it's because of the Republicans in the House. It's the Republicans. They won't do anything. The Republicans don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
So if Joe Biden now today or yesterday, I thought this was supposed to happen yesterday or today. I don't know if it did or not yet. He is going to do the executive order to undo his first executive order, to supersede the other executive order, to now start closing down the border. So now, wow, do you have a plane coming in?
So this is unexpected, but apparently our lawn mowing crew is mowing the neighborhood right now.
Nice.
It is so loud that it even goes through the noise gate, doesn't it?
Yeah, but the beauty is that...
Yeah, let's just name this episode Shitty Sound.
And then the same filter that we used on the last episode that got rid of all the bag noise, will probably get rid of the lawnmower, and people will be like, I have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that was amazing.
It was I
was crumpling some kind of a piece of paper or tinfoil or something right next to the microphone, and you said the filter got rid of it.
Yeah, totally. Without me doing anything extra. This is just the normal filter. I run everything through as a final.
And now, is this like a built-into Audition, or is this some third-party thing you stole?
It's a third-party thing that I paid for.
I'm sure you did.
$29.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's $99 now. It is called, let me look it up. They have changed
you got
the
the student discount, didn't you?
No, I was a part of the beta test.
Okay.
And when they came out, they had a discount. And it was a great discount because otherwise now I think it's $99.
Yeah, that's excessive.
But it was called Clear Supertone. So it's supertone.ai.
Okay.
And it's the clear voice separator. It's now $99, which even at $99, if you do a lot of,
yeah, I guess if you do enough, but dude, every year I resubscribe to Adobe. I still haven't fucking installed it. I'm tempted to cancel it because I'm paying for nothing.
Well, I did see, and I don't know because I have to renew again as well, but I'm looking for the student teacher. I actually found there was somebody that was selling the regular version for a little over $100. So if somebody like you, if you're paying like month to month,
yeah,
that would be what you want to find.
I'm paying like $29 a month or something.
The clear voice separator, though, is one of these. It's a very simple. You don't have a lot of things that you can adjust. It gives you 3 dials. The mid dial is for the voice, which you almost never touch because as long as the voice is of the correct volume, that's going to stay. And then you have a knob for ambiance and you have a knob for reverb. And what it does with the ambiance is tries to take anything that's not voice away, and the reverb tries to take everything that's reverb away, but leave the original voice. And it does a pretty good job, as you found out with that bag.
Yeah, so you can use it if you're in a echoey location and it'll de-reverb it. Really?
Yes. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
The noisy thing is also good. So you could technically do your podcast in a, sitting at the bar and then have this thing, if it does the job right, taking away all that extra noise. So it sounds like you're in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
But as we continue to jump around here, now, if you're Joe Biden and you make that change, aren't you admitting that you fucked it up and wouldn't do anything about it for 3 years because you were the one that had you can't, all of these clips, the Republicans would be morons not to pull every clip over the last 3 years of Biden, Harris, and every other person in the Democrat Party saying, Yeah, the Republicans won't do anything. The Republicans won't do anything. Because it's like, well, this proves that's all bullshit. You didn't need the Republicans.
Yeah. Well, when what they're doing is literally telling Border Patrol agents to not apprehend anybody and to not turn anybody away at the border. How is that require legislation? That's an executive management condition. Like they're telling people, don't do the job you're getting paid to do.
Right.
That doesn't require legislation to fix.
No, that would just seem like it's people not doing their jobs.
Yeah. Because it's amazing. We had a border even before Trump was president. I know some people find this hard to believe, but we had a border, and some states, notably California, were doing a shitty job patrolling the border because they were basically the Border Patrol agents who live and work in California are the extra liberal type of Border Patrol agents. And so California could kind of push them into not following what their job orders were, because they'd rather just harass people driving on the highway into California from Arizona, which I might have an opinion on as well.
No,
but but I don't think there was really a whole lot of problem with patrolling the border here in Texas. I mean, again, certainly there was some traffic flow, but it was only in areas that were not heavily patrolled.
Right.
And then once they found out about it, they would send more people and the traffic flow would stop and it would go somewhere else. So what's happening right now, to my understanding, is National Guard keeps being deployed in wider swaths of the Texas border now. And we've got helper National Guards from a few other states. And as a result, the majority of the traffic crossings are no longer in Texas. They're actually going through New Mexico, Arizona, and California.
It's amazing, isn't it? They've long said this is why certain towns in Texas have had much bigger problems than others, because the ones that have a wall, that have things that are blocking people from coming in.
Yeah.
It's the very simple thing of having any security is going to deter a certain amount of people. So it may seem idiotic because anybody can just knock the door of your house down if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But if your front door is open, a lot of criminals will just walk in. If they have to break the door down, they'll go, I'll just find somebody who left their door open.
Yeah, and that was always the argument for, you remember the Club? You remember that product from the 80s?
In the car, right. Right.
Yeah, so
God.
It was basically a bicycle lock for your car steering wheel. And the idea being, when the club is on your steering wheel, they can't turn your steering wheel, and therefore they can't drive the car when they're stealing it. And I had one of these things on my Saturn, because, everyone wants to steal a Saturn. And I had a Saturn back in the day, and I got the club for it so it wouldn't get stolen. Well, what I quickly realized is you don't actually need to lock the club.
They just have to see it
inside the car. And so they would have to break into your car first and then realize that you had the club if you paid attention to what the advertising shows. The reality is they can see the damn thing through your windshield. So you never have to lock it. You don't have to worry. You just kind of throw it on the steering wheel to make it look like it's kind of on. But there's no point in going through the extra steps and time wastage of actually locking the damn thing. Because that's all somebody needs. Is like, if you see a car with something like, something visible that obviously is going to make it harder to steal, then there's no reason to even lock the car.
Yeah, you go to the next one.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, back in the old days, the fact that you needed a key was a little different. I do enjoy some of the early keyless things that were so easily hacked. That was funny in itself. But I remember one day going to school down on Fullerton Avenue, going to DePaul University, and watching as a woman had her car stolen at a stoplight because, there was a car that just hit her from behind ever so slightly. The two guys got out of the car. She got out, start talking to the guy on the driver's side.
Take her car.
Yeah, the other one went around the passenger side into her car, drove away.
God damn. Wow.
It's not hard to pull off.
See, that's what happens in a city that doesn't have guns. Because here in Texas, if somebody tried to do that,
right,
there would be a dead person in their car and a dead person on the sidewalk.
You're like, this is it. I'm going to be, before I get out of my car, I'm pulling the piece out and being like, okay, let's talk.
Well, there's a question that in non-liberal cities, criminals have to ask themselves before they commit a crime is this worth losing your life over?
Correct.
In big cities, not so much, because, like here in Austin, the percentage of people that has guns is probably greater than most cities outside of Texas, but it's probably the least percentage in Texas, because Austin's the most liberal city in Texas.
Well, I've said this for a long time. You're right, because if you walk into, it doesn't matter if it's a bodega, it doesn't matter if you're walking into a Macy's. Mm-hmm. If the people behind the counter have the God-given right, the legal right in that particular area to pull a gun and defend their property and themselves, mm-hmm. then you have to ask yourself way more questions. As a criminal, when you continue to lower the odds of anything bad happening to criminals, how can you be surprised when crime goes up? And we know there's not enough police to handle everything, but if somebody knows legally, mm-hmm. and there are still some areas, I mean, it's odd that even Washington State, where Ryan Bemrose is, still has a castle doctrine, which means you're sitting at home, somebody breaks down your door and comes into your house. You can shoot them and you are not going to be charged.
Well, you still will be probably, but you have a better chance of coming out of it without a criminal record. Unlike
Chicago. And there were stories, this is getting a little better, I think, because even the people in Chicago are getting tired of it. The stories of, you hear the 80-year-old dude just minding his own damn business and have 3 people come breaking into his house and he shot him and they charged him with the possession of the gun. It's like, no, normal sane people do not want that. Normal sane people understand that otherwise this 80-year-old dude was about to get robbed and or killed by the 3 people breaking into his house. It's insane to think that, like, well, no, it's his problem because he had the gun. It's like, well, yeah, but the 3 people coming in also had guns.
Mm-hmm.
Was he not supposed to protect himself?
Well, it depends what race they were.
Exactly. I think they were all black in this case. Mm-hmm. So, which is a majority.
You had to throw the in this case in there?
Well, in the case that I'm talking about, I think you're correct. And people were making a big hubbub about it with Ann Coulter on what's his name show, the HBO guy, Bill Maher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Saying, well, you'd know who the shooters at the Kansas City parade were if they were white. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely right. And this is, people want to say you're racist for making these comments, but it's like, but are they correct? This is not about race. This is about the way that the media, justice departments, law enforcement is treating things at this point.
Yeah.
Where if it's a straight white shooter, you know about it 5 seconds after they do.
By the way, there's no such thing.
No such thing as a straight white shooter?
No. There's only trans and black.
So straight white guys don't go to jail now?
I mean, like Lee Harvey Oswald, I think was the last one.
Okay. I didn't know.
And allegedly he may not have been straight.
Oh, well, see, then that would give him a pass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's crazy, but like not reporting the race if they're black and then reporting it if they're white is racist.
Yes.
That's right. It's no description there. It's like you're treating people differently exclusively based on their race. How's that not racist?
Well, the liberals will tell you it's all about equity. Makes no sense.
That's right. Yes, because reverse racism isn't racism.
And the most interesting thing is they have a really big problem, the liberals do at this point, because a majority of the people shooting and committing the violent crimes are minorities.
Yeah.
But what they also ignore is that a vast majority of victims of the violent crimes and shootings are also minorities.
Yep.
So who are you fucking protecting?
Yeah, exactly. They're protecting themselves is what they're protecting. They're protecting the agenda they've built up, saying that, no, there's total parity here. It's just more white people commit crimes than black people.
Well, that's what they would like when they look at, and it's an interesting concept because what the liberals are saying is, well, here in America, the ratio you have of black individuals is like 14% right now, I think. But they are 55% of the incarcerated.
Right.
So we need to make our prisons look like our overall population.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get all those Asians in there.
Right. To be more fair rather than, well, who's actually committing the crimes?
Yep.
You know, this would also say, let's just pretend for a minute that black people never committed a crime. Well, you're now saying that we need to find at least 15% of the prison population, even if they've never committed a crime, because that would be the only fair way to go.
Oh, that, fair isn't about what's fair in life. Fair is about making sure that it looks fair.
Well, this is it. You can now be a mass murderer. You're convicted, and they're like, let's see, you're white. What percentage do we need for prison? Nope, you get to go free. We don't need one of you today, whatever you are. We've got our ratios exactly right. Everybody's happy.
Oh, you're one of those orange hair people? Yeah, you owe $500 million.
Yes. Oh, I'm telling you. And
Windows Update needs to restart. All right, let's restart.
Okay, see you later. Well, you're on the Mac though, so it's okay.
I'm on the Mac. That's my point. This is so cool that I can now reboot my Windows whenever it feels like rebooting, and not affect the recording.
I need to buy a Mac Studio. I think I saw an article the other day that Windows
keep talking about Studio. I just don't think you need to spend the money. I think you just get a mini.
Yeah, but I do enough audio processing. Like I would have to see. I have to look up. Here's what I got to find.
Current generation Mac Mini.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
probably
awesome.
like 10 times the power of the previous generation.
No, I know. But it comes down
i7 Mac Mini.
For me, between it's either another, it's Windows or it's Mac. And if I'm going Mac, I want to be able to plug in 3 monitors. And to do that, I can't do it with the Mac Mini without another like $200 device.
Well, again, that's not even strictly true. And God forbid I try and save you money. But
well, you could just send me money. That would be good too.
Yeah. Well, you could send me money. You're the one getting it. But
where?
From all the non-donations we're getting. The thing that you want to keep in mind is you're not using these monitors for gaming.
No, I know.
And 3D design shit. So really, you got your main 4-screen monitor that's plugged into the Mac. You can plug in other monitors in through USB. You don't need to have the HDMI in there.
From what I understand, the Mac Mini out of the box only supports up to 2 monitors unless you buy another splitter device. I know there's a few companies that make them that.
Yeah, you don't need a splitter. You just need a USB monitor, not a monitor with a video input, but the USB is basically, it's got its own video card.
But I don't think the Mac Mini allows you to do that out of the box.
Yeah, you can have 10 of those if you want. No, there's no hack. It's just you plug it in and it just works.
Hey, I've read enough on it that says it can't do that. If you can prove that it does, then that would be...
yes, I'm happy to send you some stuff. No problem. I'll do that after the show because I think you're worried about something that is a non-issue.
Well, I also want it to be nice and snappy because when I do these 2-hour podcasts, which I
do every 2 hours, basically.
Kind of every day.
Yeah.
And I record them.
If it makes it happy, buy the damn thing. I'm just saying, I don't think
I'm just saying what kind of time it takes.
Wow,
whoa, what's going on there?
Oh, my computer just rebooted and it decided to start talking. Because why not, right? Oh my God. Use Microsoft browser settings. God, no. I don't want anything automatic.
Yes, Blitz. The docks, I mean, those are the things that can split to different monitors. But I want to know what kind of time, the difference, and it may not be much between the Mac Mini and the Mac Studio, but I know with a 2-hour or so podcast that I am doing in FLAC or WAVE, and then running through all of these, the things that take all the bag noises out, it can take an hour for it to run through all that. Where I would
what's your current setup? What's your processor?
It is an i7, I think, in this one. I mean, it's a pretty decent.
How old is it? That's a better question.
Like 2 years, I think.
More than 2 years.
No, this one isn't.
I don't remember you talking about buying a new computer 2 years ago.
This one is fairly current. I don't remember when I got it, but it's within the last couple of years. How do I tell? What do I pull up on Windows? I forget the system page.
Well, the best way to do it is to download an app called the ZCPU. It's free, and it shows you all the infos about your CPU in there and memory.
And everything. I use the Belarc Advisor 2 thing that works.
Anyway, my point is, I've got what was at this point 3 years ago, I bought my computer as a gaming machine. So a high-end machine, I think I paid $3,200 for it. And my Mac Mini is significantly faster.
Which is sad, really, when you think about it.
And it was...
But it's because what it is...
$600.
It's what it is optimized for.
Yeah, it's not faster playing video games, that's for sure. But it's faster in doing things like processing video.
I have an i7 10,700 CPU at 2.9 gigahertz.
Yeah, so it's 10th series. So I think they're in the 14th series right now. So you're 4 series behind.
I got 64 gig of RAM.
Yeah, that's good. That's one thing where you do pay quite a bit more money on the Macs because the RAM is soldered on.
Yeah, and they want like $1 billion.
They do. They want $1 billion for that memory. Now, this is like their marketing goes overboard. It's basically saying, oh, you only need half the RAM on the Macs because they're so much better. The reality is the more RAM you have, the better. That's true of any computer system. I don't care what you're running. But what I will say is the operating system on the Mac definitely takes way less memory than Windows does. So out of a 64 gigs of memory on the PC, Windows might be taking like 8 of those. Right. It grabs a chunk. On the Mac, you
have to know what's running.
Yeah, on the Mac, the OS might only take a couple of megs or gigs. Megs. I wish it was megs. A couple of gigs. So it's a more compact operating system, but certainly there's no way that 16 gigs of RAM is equivalent to 32 gigs of RAM, which they talk about in marketing. That's just bullshit.
Yeah, I got this January of 2021, so I guess it is hitting 3 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we've been doing the podcast for about 2 years. So I don't remember us talking about you getting a new computer out ever.
Time flies, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's, I think you should do it. And the side effect of that, I think, will be that you will figure out how to use the Motu on the Mac the way you want to, and I won't have to figure it out.
Right. This is what you really want. You're like, if you can figure out how to
just buy a Mac, figure out how to get shit work. Yeah. Well, that's what you did last time. I didn't have that hack until you gave it to me.
Right. You're like, you can do that? Like,
damn. I just thought you have to have software that just sees all the channels built in, and that's all you can use. Like, okay, I guess I got to use, addition for recording everything because that sees all the channels on the Motu on the PC.
You figure that was before everybody was doing the multi-user podcasts in through things like Clean Feed, where you had to have It was great doing podcasts and then having a Google Voice number that you could give and have live call-ins. I mean, it was really kind of neat, although the quality of call-ins.
Quality is kind of shitty. Oh, and incidentally, so I was recording the third episode of my Sergine Speaks with the
that dude.
The black guy, right? The black dude.
He's black?
He's black. Oh, you didn't know that?
I don't see color, Gene.
Well, I know you don't see color, but I would hope you would hear color.
Of course. Well, see, that's way easier to hear color than to see color.
Anyway, what was fascinating is I sent them the specs for the podcasting setup because, he just used his phone of all things and Zoom meeting on the phone and then a Bluetooth headset. Like a perfect recipe for podcast recording, right? And I said, well, it would definitely sound better if you got professional gear. And he's like, oh man, it's $1,000. I don't know if I want to spend $1,000. And then he listened to himself on the live stream. He's like, man, I sound like shit.
Like, yeah, what do you think I've been telling you?
Right. I said, well, that's what Darren said. Well,
you could tell immediately that it came in via a phone. It was not like it was just slightly off, and which is people are very used to still hearing that, which I'm always surprised. I mean, I haven't listened within the last few months, but when O'Reilly calls into Glenn Beck, which he was doing every Friday, it sounded like a phone. It's like, you fuckers have the technology.
They do. I know.
To connect with a much better sound, but I don't know if the radio, it just likes that. So the people on the other side know it's somebody calling in. I don't get it.
I've seen that quite a few places where people are literally sitting next to a professional microphone and they're talking on their phone.
Right. Like, why are you doing that? I don't know.
It's like, what the hell, man?
They gave me a phone number.
And if you have to use your phone, first of all, don't use the phone networks. Don't call, use the phone like for Zoom meeting or something. And then if you really wanted to, you could pick up a lavalier headset that plugs into your phone.
Dude, you could,
and that'll sound infinitely nicer.
For the, any of these, for the Apple devices especially. You can pick up the device where you can plug in an XLR microphone into into one of these devices. It doesn't have to be the full blown Motu, but anything that converts it to USB and then just plug that right into the phone.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have the whole thing.
And I recommended he just get one of the little Motu Duos or whatever they're called. The ones, the cheaper version.
The Motu 2s and 4s.
Yeah. Because he'll never need to worry about doing multi-channel recording shit that you were trying to do.
Right. Most people will never even think
most people never. And honestly,
there's a reason for that.
I don't think I will ever do that. Now, I've had this Motu since it came out, obviously, but if I was to get a new one, I don't know that I would need to go for this one simply because the software, the method I use for recording podcasts has been changed to Zoom. But even if I wasn't using Zoom, I still prefer doing things like Zencastr, which we did for a while, because Zencastr records both sides. And now Descript, the software that I use for editing, they bought another company that was a competitor of Zencastr that I can't remember the name of ever. But basically, they've got their own service that lets you do podcasts where it records in the cloud each individual person's conversation directly. And so I much rather just download the audio files than rely on real-time, monitoring and making sure all the levels are perfectly fine and nobody's a little too loud and nobody's a little too quiet and all that crap. It's like, I don't really think there's a need to do that live anymore unless you're streaming.
Right. And that's it. If you're streaming and you need to do some of the processing where you need to do compression on the fly or you need to do leveling on the fly, which a lot more people are doing the streaming now. So, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of them are doing, YouTube or the other one, Oh, that's interesting. Russian national was just arrested in Austin by federal task force.
Oh shit! Did they put the story out before they got to your front door?
Apparently, he's a friend of Putin. What is this? Who the hell just sent this to me?
Have you looked at your Ring doorbell cam?
What is that noise outside? I thought it was a lawnmower. Maybe it was a helicopter.
Could be.
All right. Gotta go.
See you later, Gene. Go back.
Fake podcast.
Gotta go.
Or no, crank podcast.
This is what happens when you don't encrypt.
Mm-hmm.
Costco has the high-end Mac Studio for $37.99.
Yeah. Do you really need to spend that much?
No.
What's a low end go for? I don't even know. I know they're like twice of a Mac Mini, right?
Yeah, the low end on the Studio is $19.49 from Costco.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Mac Mini, they have the high end Mac Mini is $11.49. So there's some juggling with.
It's never easy because the product prices are all similar.
The cheap one is $499.99, which isn't bad. I mean, I bought one of those.
Shit, that's even cheaper than what I paid.
Yeah, I bought one at one point and then was like, shit, I can't plug in the monitors I need, so I returned it without even taking it out of the box. But
it's $499. It says $599 on the website.
No, it shows $499.99 for the.
Really?
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
8 gig of memory, 256 gig SSD, 10 core GPU, 8 core CPU.
That's insane. A 10-core machine for $499, brand new, with a warranty.
Yeah, Ben Burrow says $37.99 is about the same price as a dozen eggs and a gallon of milk right now. That's not far off.
Or a gaming PC.
Oh, yeah, gaming PC.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is it's a write-off because technically I'm a podcaster and I do claim the money that comes in. So if I spend every penny that comes in for the podcasting on a computer, then I don't pay taxes because it's a write-off. I mean, in that ballpark.
Sure.
I have a professional tax guy. I go by what he says.
Good. Yeah, so I got something that was clearly related to my business dealings. Yeah, occasionally people will ask you questions about like prepping.
Sure. I mean, how many ponchos do I need? How much food do I need?
Yeah, exactly. So I had to, for testing purposes, mind you, I had to buy a thermal vision system
to see in the dark.
Yeah.
And how did it work?
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to show up on Monday or Tuesday.
Gene will find out take up jogging in the dark.
It's pretty sure, jogging. That's exactly right. It looks pretty damn impressive in the videos. I mean, it's basically predator vision.
The Wandering Knight says, I am sure missing Sir Gene on NAS and his tame wild animal videos. Is that what you used to post on
I still post them on X. I just posted a bunch of bear videos on there. Yeah, tell him to just subscribe on X and he'll get all the bear and other critter videos that you can imagine.
Let's see. Dear Wandering Knight, Gene is a bear. He wants you to message him on X. Did I get that right?
Yes. And you gave him the OnlyFans address, right?
Right, yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's the only thing you got bringing in cash.
That's true. That is a true story. In fact, let me just move some stuff around a little bit. There we go.
But I mean, Bemro says Mastodon is the bird site for cucks. And, that may be true, but I'm noticing the number of people that are using the new No Authority Social dropping like a stone.
Well, yeah, of course.
Dropping like a stone compared to No Agenda. I think somebody also
pointed out something interesting that I tend to agree with, which is that the No Agenda Social was perfectly good until Adam announced that they've got a bunch of dead accounts and they're going to delete and purge those and then open it up for new people.
And the new people started coming in.
Yes. And the new people came in, and that's when things started going downhill.
Well, with anything, without having a some kind of level of knowing who is coming in, you have to assume it's going to be bots, it's going to be trolls, it's going to be people that want to spread whatever they want to spread. And to assume otherwise for a while when it was brand new, that original surge of people that came in were the
they
listeners.
Were actual fan.
Right.
Yeah.
And it worked
guys
it may have actually been, I mean, I know.
Like Phone Boy and
well, he's so far gone.
And
but I know it's totally the antithesis of what the Fediverse is about, but it would have worked a lot better had they not opened it up to the rest of the world. Had the Fedi had you not been federated, was it just an individual instance that didn't go any further than that?
Board.
Right. It would have worked a lot better.
Yeah, because what they did is basically, and I'm not saying they did something wrong. It was free for us, so who cares? But it basically became Reddit.
Yeah, well, as the internet is wont to do. It all goes down.
Eating a banana here.
We got to keep that potassium level up. How is the cardiovascular system? Are we monitoring this all correctly? Your sugar level's good.
I've started taking potassium in pill form. Something I don't know. Maybe there is a reason to go get a medical degree because nobody fucking tells you anything. You know what?
As far as
for years, I've been taking vitamin D because my vitamin D 15 years ago showed up as low in some tests.
Same here. Doctor said take it.
Yeah. And then in general, there's been more of recommendations that, most people are deficient in D. You should probably start just planning on supplementing indefinitely. So I've been doing megadosing with vitamin D forever. And then, you hear about things like gallstones and some calcification around different arteries and stuff.
That are exacerbated by the high D?
And then you come to do some fucking research on medical websites, you realize, okay, so if you have a high intake of vitamin D without potassium, you end up having the calcium get what's the term for it?
Crystallized or whatever.
Basically, it washes. It comes out of it turns solid, right? It solidifies, so it precipitates. You have precipitation of calcium if you're not getting a sufficiently high level of potassium, because vitamin D, potassium, and calcium all work together. It's like, well, motherfuckers, first of all, why aren't you making vitamin D pills with potassium in them? Secondly, at least have the people telling you to take vitamin D tell you to also take potassium.
And the K2.
Yeah. Well, that is potassium. K2 is potassium.
Well, there you go. So they do make them together then. That's
Oh, they do? Oh, I haven't seen that.
Well, you're the one that told me to get vitamin D with K2.
Yeah, I told you that after I found out. Yes, but you got it as a single product?
Yeah.
Well, I have them in two different bottles.
No, you can get it now. At least now supplements are the ones I get them from. I don't know if other people make, but you can get the now I don't know if it's the same dose that you're going to want, because once I started doing all the research when I was having the heart arrhythmias, I also saw that mega dosing of the vitamin D can cause that, although then you see other people saying it can help that. So good luck with figuring out which.
Yeah, well, you got to take some vitamin E along with it.
But that's why I lowered the dose from 5,000 a day to 1,000, I think it is now.
You're kidding. Really? Yeah. That's really low. Yeah, no, I do usually 15,000 a day.
That's way too much.
No, that's appropriate.
Here, Gene died live on a podcast.
No, it's just now I've learned that I need to also balance that out with the K2. So that and I need to not intake any calcium whatsoever, because I get a sufficient amount of calcium from eating meat. Which, I wasn't sure if I was getting enough calcium. I certainly don't want bad bones, right? So
no, of course not.
I was drinking a lot of milk and yogurt and other dairy products that have a lot of calcium. And I was like, well, shit, why is my calcium high? Well, calcium's high because I'm not getting enough magnesium.
Well, you can pop the Nature Made D3K2. It gives you a 5,000 IU of the D3 and 100 mcg of the K2.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So that gets you the potassium, but then you also need magnesium.
Oh, well, I take those twice a day. Magnesium, baby.
Oh, you do? Okay.
And I noticed, I have no idea.
Manganese, magnesium.
Yes, magnesium.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good.
Now, I don't know
so
if this is why, because I was taking the magnesium in the Magox, which is a solid tablet. And then they didn't have those the one time at the grocery store. So I bought the Magox as a gel cap, and for some reason started getting migraines again, even though it was the same dose allegedly of Magox. It's like the delivery method may be important.
I think it makes a difference in absorption because the pills generally don't get absorbed until further in your gut. The capsules get absorbed immediately out of your stomach.
Which makes sense. So they may not stick around. They may not get to the same.
Well, a capsule is just a liquid delivery method.
Yeah, which is nice for
you're
quick.
Basically drinking it. Yeah.
Woo!
So if you're a little sensitive to something, you may be better off with a tablet over a liquid version in a capsule.
If you need quick acting, then you go those gel caps.
Yeah. And then one thing, I don't know, this is more of a, oh, by the way, I think we've hit a majority of our bingo card.
Yes, and can I also point out, this is not a medical show. We are not medical professionals, and none of this should be taken as medical advice.
No, and never. But we do take a lot of pills.
We do. Hey, we're pill popping sons of bitches.
We are pill poppers all the way, baby. Yeah. So, what was I talking about?
Oh, wow. Okay, so now you need some of that B12.
B12. Yeah, I don't take B12. I don't know. Maybe I should start. Problem with B12 is the best method of delivery for that is actually it's sublingual.
And you only speak one language. I mean,
I speak multiple languages, but I enjoy sublingual delivery of vitamins. It's through an eyedropper.
You put them into your eye?
No, they're sublingual. You don't put them in your eye.
But you use an eyedropper.
Yeah, you put them under your tongue. That's what that means.
I love when I do that kind of stuff to people on the Fediverse, and they're like, "You can't be that stupid, man."
I'm pretty sure you could be.
I could, right? You have no idea how stupid I am. How dare you?
Yeah, so it's not the great delivery because I'm either going to overdose because I'm going to not care about measuring how much I'm into, how many drops. How about the whole damn thing? How about that?
Yeah, you want a nice, easy, I don't want to overdose method.
Yeah. And then the other method that works really well is intravenous. You know what that means?
Yeah. That means they
just
stick the needle right on into your vein, man.
That's right. And the problem with that is it's not pleasurable. Like it doesn't feel good, but you get the full effect right away. Because have you ever done intravenously? You really feel it immediately.
I have. I've gotten the only thing when I was in for the migraine, they give me a magnesium intravenously. So it's amazing the kind of stuff they have ready to put right into you from those little bags.
Yeah. Well, it's mostly saline.
Yeah,
but there's a little bit of drugs in there as well
for fast acting.
You can't really do most drugs that way because it's too high a concentration all in one place in the blood. So it's going to take a while for it to get dissolved throughout all of your blood. But when you put it in other ways, like through your stomach or sublingually, the amount of time that it takes to dissolve means that it's fairly evenly spread through all of your blood. That's why they have to balance it out intravenously with saline.
Cotton Gin says, Gene, we get it. You're smart. So, I mean, I think you're listening to a different show, Cotton
Yeah,
Gin.
I think so. Because, I mean, you should have gotten that in the first episode. So what the hell are you still doing here?
Yeah, welcome to episode number 105. Finally realized, wow, Gene is smart. No.
Huh. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you should be more horrified.
I'm not saying I'm smart. I just play a smart guy on TV.
Yeah, he just plays the role.
Yeah.
And you should hear him when it's not a podcast. Totally different.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Totally.
The Gene filter kicks in.
I become a Valley girl.
Like, totally tubular.
I wonder if that's still a thing. Are there still Valley girls?
I haven't heard that in any. I mean, if it is, nobody's using it in movies or television shows or somebody current.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see, though, that kind of, the accent and the verbiage used, how these things quickly change, which I don't know what it is today, because the kids today all want to just communicate non-verbally. So I don't know if this is even a thing. Is there a certain way that the youngsters talk now?
Mm-hmm. Well, they definitely talk funny.
They talk faster.
Weird words they've created out of thin air.
Which always has happened, I would think. I think we did that as our generation as well.
I think that's true. I'm not sure where it comes from, because the vocabulary keeps changing. But nonetheless, kids always do have their own little vernacular.
Net asks, nonverbal, you mean like fucking? No, I mean like not fucking, but just texting each other while not fucking.
Or fucking,
right. Or texting somebody else while you're fucking, which nothing says I'm totally into you as much as, having a text conversation while. Yeah. Makes it a lot harder to finger bang DigiGuru if you're going to text.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Did we get kicked off of X yet? I'm waiting.
No, we're still on. That's amazing.
I mean, this isn't true. This isn't YouTube, so it's a little different than.
X. I think you can probably live stream a KKK rally on X.
Have you tried that with your Texas clan?
No, I should do that. Yeah. One word that, because I don't think we've talked about it, because this happened in between the last show and this show. I did stumble upon a word that X auto bans.
Oh, I saw that. Tranny.
Yeah. Tranny. It does not like the word tranny, because I was literally describing, it was a joke post.
Sure it was.
About an actual female who I was making fun of for looking kind of tranny.
See, I thought for sure you were talking about the transmission of your vehicle.
That's exactly what I meant. And because that's what the word tranny is always referred to. And
in my world anyway.
And there was nothing that could be construed as being anti woke in there. It was literally using that word as a joke, not threatening violence, not doing anything else nasty, right? And then the tweet gets flagged, and I get an email message saying, you're breaking terms of service, and don't do it. And we're not get your post will not be shown. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I posted another one. I forwarded that tweet, did an @ Elon Musk to it. And the forwarded message also gets flagged because it still had the word tranny in it.
So, I mean, what happened to the world where you could be like, hey, man, my fucking tranny's giving me problems?
I know. Fucking tranny. Have you thought about replacing it?
It's hard to get a fucking good tranny.
Yeah.
They are not cheap.
Well, they're not cheap. That's what I've heard. Yeah. They can cost you an arm and a leg.
True.
But a good tranny is worth the money, man.
Yeah, I mean, you want a tranny that's going to hold up for at least 10,000, 20,000 miles.
I can't wait until this is text in a in the show notes, and then it's indexed by Google.
The transcript. They're like, a lot of tranny talk on this show.
Yeah, tranny. That means transcript, right?
Yeah. Or transmission. It can only mean one thing to the ultra woke libtards who want to take away your free speech, though, Gene.
Mm-hmm.
We got any trannies out there? Woo! And if you do, that's great. We love you. We want you listening to the show. If you donate, we will get more tranny talk.
Interesting.
What's interesting?
Sorry, I'm going to send you this link. A list of USB-C monitors
that will work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That way I can have a Mac
Mini.
Have
as many as you want, man. I'm telling you.
What I really want to build, although you know how much money this would cost, it's insane. Do you think the Apple costs a lot? Building a new Windows machine with the video cards that would run Stable Diffusion quickly.
Yeah, it's a gaming machine, so it costs you about $4,000 minimum.
Yeah, if you don't want to add like the second video card to increase.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you really want to do that, there's only one video card to get, and that's the 4090, and those are about $2,000 a piece.
I guess it's still a lot cheaper just to rent the time online for somebody else to do that.
But why do you need to?
I don't know. It's a fun hobby. I like playing with it.
What did you think of the image of our podcast that I posted?
Obviously AI.
Obviously.
Now, the artwork that I won No Agenda with yesterday was totally AI.
Yeah, of course.
Because it was an AI meta type thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the one you posted, let me pull that up here. It would not fool me as far as being a photograph. There's no doubt that it is artwork.
Yeah. But it's meant to be artwork style. It's not meant to be photorealistic.
True. I mean, again, this is and
it's basically the thing I was looking for was like a post-apocalyptic podcast recording with two fat dudes.
It had to be two fat dudes. Yeah, that's what you had to have in.
Well, you got to say two fat dudes. Otherwise, it goes for the ultra skinny kind of look.
You know, that was an interesting concept because I was looking for different prompt ideas for Stable Diffusion because there is a language to itself, you know, different keywords that will give you much different looks. And I saw somebody complaining about not being able to generate a real looking person that didn't look like a model. It was like, it's
amazing, isn't it?
It's all, which leads you completely down that other path again of, the girls, they have body image, they don't feel they can measure up. And all of a sudden you have these new things where it's just like, create a girl. And it's like, wow, that's a supermodel.
Hot girl. Yeah.
It's like the fact that it can't create.
So let me show you a picture of me and Kanye, or sorry, Ye.
You and Ye?
Me and Ye. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ye looks a lot more realistic than you in that one now.
Hey, now, I got a six-pack.
Yeah, in the fridge. I like the microphone in the picture that you created. I like the fact that the dude's watch looks like it's made out of wood. And he's the hand. It's funny that he's using a handheld microphone where there's a really nice, very steampunk looking professional microphone sitting 3 inches away.
Right. Well, and it was using the steampunk filter.
Now, which system did you use to create?
There's only one that'll let you do the type of stuff that I was doing, and that was the Gab AI.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Now, I will say the Gab AI is a little gay. I found that out empirically because of the imagery that it returns by default. You have to tweak the gay out of it.
You're like, right there.
Like,
no, there's a cold opener. You just got to tweak the gay right on out of it. Yeah,
exactly. I'm still sending you images. It's
There's the good old boys.
It's a little messed
up. It's a little gay.
It's a little gay.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Little gay.
That's more than a little gay. Is that like
that's an action hero called Jackson? My Eyes Are Up Here.
Well, that's interesting. The latest thing, the uniforms that Major League Baseball just had done, I guess they're all different this season. They're being made by a company called Fanatics, which is owned by Topps Baseball Cards. And I guess the material is so cheap, they're saying you can fucking see the guy's junk, which maybe that's just a whole new draw for another type of person to watch baseball. Maybe your junk just gets hanging out there.
Well, I guess we got all kinds of women's watching baseball now, don't we?
And Bemrose says ugly girls don't post a lot of selfies, which is why.
That's very true. That is very true. Because, then again, how do you know? Because they use filters.
Right. Which is why it's much easier to push off a fake AI girl now on the world because, that looks fake. Well, they all look fake. The real girls look fake already.
They totally look fake. Now, just give me, I know people can't see this, but what do you think? A little gay?
Yeah, I think that is. If you didn't type in like Dukes of Hazzard,
how about this
gay,
one?
Then I think this is all what Gab's AI is giving you.
This is all Gab AI. It's all gay.
It's all.
It's basically like nowhere do I specify gay as a word. Its default seems to be to provide you with gay.
What if you ask it for women? Does it provide a lot of lesbians?
Oh, no. Actually, that's a very good question. Somebody else asked me that as well. It's like, dude, why do you keep is looking at your this Ben was saying this last night. I was sending him some of these pictures. Like,
dude,
is it just Ben? Looking? Yeah. Is it just looking at your surf history?
Right. Is that how it's figuring this out?
No. So I'll send you one more here.
Bear's barely there.
Just to prove how gay it is. And again, like not asking for anything gay related, that's what it gives me. However, when I did specify a female, there we go. Paste that. It does a pretty good job of that.
Of disturbing images. Yeah, well, if you're looking for a fiery redhead, you got it there.
That's pretty much what I did. Use as a text. Give me a hot redhead. I'm like, yep. I'll take that. It's still not
photorealistic, which is not necessarily.
It's not meant to be. It's cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, baby.
Everything's in cyberpunk style.
All art from now on,
except for the Gay Dukes of Hazzard,
will be the Gay Dukes of Hazzard. It's disturbing.
I may end up creating a post on X that shares some of these, but it just occurred to me yesterday as I kept getting not quite what I was looking for, which is what all these you're looking at came from.
You're like, again, but not gay. Yeah. Again, but not gay. Again, but not gay.
Right. And
it turns out the AI is a tranny who doesn't understand what you're asking for.
The most ironic, hilarious part of it is literally the most conservative AI that exists right now. The Gab AI, somebody must have just had a
gay old time.
A gay old time. Yeah. Somebody must have thought it would be hilarious if instead of Gab, it would say gay. And they didn't let the client know that they made that change in the code. And now it's like, oh yeah, use our AI. It's the most conservative AI of all the bunch. It's going to be, very accurate at creating images that are not censored. They're not going to be woke. They're not going to be politically correct. And they're all gay.
It's only gay. You want gay, you come to Gab.
Maybe it's because I was doing superheroes. I don't know. But then the Dukes of Hazzard thing's gay too.
You're like, yeah, I don't know what about superhero necessarily says gay.
Oh, come on, please. How about starting with the outfits?
Okay. To be fair, I don't watch superhero movies.
Yeah, I don't either because I don't watch gay porn.
I read A lot of the early Spider-Man comics, which to me doesn't scream gay because, they were done back in the time before everything had to be gay.
Are you kidding me? Spider-Man's probably the gayest of the bunch.
Dude, come on. Spidey.
His whole superpower is jizz?
Well, it comes out of his wrist, you see.
Yeah, that's because he's been doing, nonstop as a teenage boy, wearing skin-tight clothing.
Mary Jane,
and squirting all over the place. Come on.
He's just squirting.
Has he ever fucked Mary Jane?
I don't think he did. She died, right?
Oh, because they're just friends. He's her gay friend.
Gay friend, right. Totally, I guess. And it wasn't
Spider-Man is so gay.
It wasn't just that it was from an earlier time. I mean, they actually made the new Superman dude gay, like the son of Superman who was came out as bisexual. And
that's right. Because in their world of Kryptonium, or whatever the hell it was called, Planet Krypton, everybody's bi.
Yeah, Blitz points out almost all the comic stuff now hella gay, which is why, one, besides having the, one eye blowout. So it's a lot less fun trying to read comics or anything. It's,
you remember when Saturday Night Live had the ambiguously gay duo?
I don't remember the gay duo. I remember androgynous Pat.
No. It was it was right around that same time era, maybe a little later. But they had the cartoon of two superheroes, and there was two guys that were always in positions that seemed a little too gay. It's back when Saturday Night Live had balls. And could actually do stuff that was,
it was gay back when they had balls.
I mean, it's kind of gay. It's a little gay, I guess.
I mean, if you're going to be gay, you better have some balls.
I think that would probably be helpful. I would imagine.
Ace and Gary. I don't remember that, Ned.
Ace and Gary, really? Okay.
That's what they said the names maybe were.
And that's kind of where I was going with this whole thing of that. Where's it? I think it's the one on the top, the cartoon version, right? The cartoon style. It's like the ambiguously gay trio.
I don't think I ever saw it. I have some catching up to do.
I literally just sent it to you, and it is.
Where did you send it? Because I don't see it.
It was the third image down. It's the only one that's a cartoon. The rest of them are like photorealistic.
Oh, the one with the two black dudes and a white guy between them?
Yeah. That doesn't look too gay, does it?
No, not at all.
Yeah. They're a little too much like arms around each other kind of thing going on.
Although all of your recommendations after Idiocracy are questionable, trolls. I'll tell you that much. It's another hour and 15 minutes I can't get back in my life.
I think you lost some fans when you mentioned that Idiocracy was not a good movie because the rest of us are on the other side of that whole coin.
I have people blocking me left and right on the Fetty. I finally got Aaroner to block me, so I considered that a win.
He blocked you, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because you were bitching too much about not being able to export?
No, because I just wouldn't agree with him on anything. It was funny because I have a very simple system. I very rarely will call names. I'll very rarely, get into that, even though everybody else wants to pull out, you must be retarded. It's like, well, show me where I'm wrong. And that's, he's been just crying that I've been telling people it was his decision to take down No Agenda Social. And I'm like, but you said it was your decision. So, and he's, I knew you didn't have a soul. And I'm like, oh, dude, what a good burn. I don't have a soul.
Oh, you didn't have a soul.
I know.
Well, you're Irish. Naturally, you don't have a soul. Everybody knows that.
I know. It's like, oh, what a good burn, man. You're my hero. Oh, I don't have a soul. Oh.
So you're saying I, once again, which I've done many times in my life, have managed to be ahead of the curve on pulling out of something.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you watch, you can see how many people have been active on an instance over the last 30 days. That has been going down already from just when he started it up a month ago. And
so it's basically dead.
Yeah, it's dead in the water. I've noticed that a lot of the people that used to post, a lot of like the No Agenda artists during the show, no longer posting, don't know if they still have an account, don't know if they moved it over. But it seems that a lot of people just went, they did what you did.
Yeah. Well, that's because it wasn't that much of a draw. What was the, how do they get artwork now?
Well, they're the No Agenda.
I guess that gets to the art generator. Yeah. Okay. So that you don't really need NAS for that.
No, I mean, really, that was just there for people to have a good time and post back and forth. Yeah. And I made a comment. I'm like, I love when the free speech guys, because that's what Aaroner considers himself. My post was, I love when the free speech guys block me. And immediately got people like, you're being disingenuous. You know that's not what free speech is all about. I'm like, I didn't say free speech was about anything. I said, I personally love when somebody that's free speech blocks me. It has nothing to do with what free speech is. That's like saying, I love when a Cub fan blocks me. I'm not making any arguments about the Cubs. I'm just saying I enjoy it. So I'm not being disingenuous. I'm being very sincere.
What can I say? Welcome to the club. I've been banned and blocked on IRC now for going on 7 years.
Hey, I've just unblocked you. We have totally removed all of your sins. Void Zero.
I'm not sure you have that capability.
Void Zero wiped them all out, so you can now return to the troll room and see all the trolls.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I don't think you're telling the truth here.
When we do these shows live, and I just thought the biggest irony that Aaroner was willing to block somebody, again, didn't call him any names. If he's willing to block me, I'm like, if he would have just blocked the people posting the stuff that Adam didn't like on No Agenda Social, he could still have No Agenda Social. But
wait,
he was too
when
free
you say
speech.
blocked, do you mean he blocked your account or he blocked your instance?
No, he blocked my account. He personally blocked my account.
But he could lock out your whole instance from
everybody on No Authority Social. Yes,
he could totally do that. And after he listens to this episode, he probably will.
Fuck him. Let him do it. That everybody can see what he is. Go ahead. Make my day.
What is he? He's a guy who owns a website and he's free to do with as he likes.
Oh,
I'm on his side on this, dude. I think it's his site. He's been spending his own money.
Right. And he always has been. And he's pretending that he's something. Oh, no, I didn't take it down. I didn't have any other choice. You keep talking about me. And I am. So I'll give him that one right there. Absolutely right.
Well, I think technically speaking, so this is outside of like what they wanted to do. He could have just renamed the whole damn thing and not have anybody leave. Because I think Adam's issue was, this is my interpretation.
I'm not sure that could have been done, to be fair. I don't know with the crappy Mastodon software if you could just throw a new domain and not break everything. I'm not sure. I don't know enough about it, too.
Maybe. I don't know. But from my understanding, Adam's whole beef was that there were people that other instances see that have a @NoAgendaSocial social on their names that were doing excessive trolling, like beyond trolling.
Yes.
Like being dicks.
Yes.
And he didn't like the No Agenda Social or just No Agenda being associated with those people.
And I'm hearing from both Bemrose and NetNed renaming is not an option with those. So that.
What do you mean renaming is not an option? I don't buy that. What do you mean it's not an option?
Rename an instance.
You can't go into a fucking database and manually change fields? Bullshit.
Not and have it work, I guess.
What do you mean not?
I don't know. I'm not a dude named Ben that understands Mastodon.
It's shitty software. I get that.
That's what Cotton
It may
Jim
not
says.
be good at having a UI way to do it, but also, I thought people were dudes named Ben and they understand how software works and they can hack. They can make things, do things that are not necessarily intended to be done. So
I guess it's because of the way it communicates with all of the other instances.
So he could have literally fixed it by breaking the connection with everybody else. And then that wouldn't have pissed Adam off, because I think that was the other solution, right? It wasn't just to remove the name No Agenda.
Correct. If you unfettied it. Right.
If you unfetty it, if you prevent anybody with No Agenda Social from ever showing up on anybody else's instances, then that would do it.
The other thing that would have done it was the people that were posting the shit, and it was a very small percentage. It was a minority, rather. If you would have just gotten rid of those people, you would have been golden. So there were other choices. So this whole idea that, I didn't have any other choice. Bullshit.
Well, I think that there probably is a qualifier there with an asterisk saying, I didn't have any other choice given that I have a day job and I didn't want to fuck around with it.
No, it wasn't that.
You don't think he's got a day job?
I would guess he does, but that wasn't the reason why any decision was made.
Well, I mean, what you're saying is he could have done these other things. All of those other things require time and effort.
Or, having somebody else be like, hey, anybody want to help moderate? That's what Void Zero does. You think Void Zero moderates everything on his IRC server, which Aaron started up an IRC server too to compete now with Void, which is funny. Love it, dude. Hope you get 1 billion people on your IRC server.
Oh, so I'm not banning that one then.
No, you can go onto that IRC server today.
I'm totally logging on there. Yeah. Hell
Hashtag Sir Gene Speaks.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Well, my original complaint to Aaron that I sent him like 2 years ago or whatever was
the dude has never answered one fucking complaint, has not taken anything into consideration for years, at least with me as well. I don't know if you.
Well, I just said, hey, when I signed up on here, I just used Gene N because I was like user number 5 when Adam said, hey, go check out this thing that somebody that just set up for me. I was like, okay. And then what? And then I didn't show up back up for like 2 years. And then I finally moved there when I got kicked off Twitter. And so I said, so can I change my name to Sir Gene, like at Sir Gene on the server? And he's like, well, I'll just create a new account. I'm like, well, but I have like, thousands of people sub to this account. It's like, well, there's a process to move accounts, but you can't just rename them. And I don't know. That just seems bizarre. What the hell kind of software doesn't let you rename an account?
I think Pleroma allows it. I don't know if Mastodon does.
I'm not saying he's wrong on that. But I also think it's like, look, the guy's doing this for free. I'm not going to expect free support from somebody or support from somebody who's got a free product. Like I know enough from having my own stuff that I've written sitting out there and knowing what a pain in the butt it is. Like, I think people know by this point, I've talked about it, that the only development that I've done over the last decade is in games. I do mods for games that I play.
And by mods, you mean you sexify all of the avatars that you have to use?
I do not have anywhere near that level of talent. Most of my mods are literally background processes that are running that are doing something like some kind of calculations or something. Like for Kerbal Space, I had a mod that calculated the volume of interior spaces of a bunch of different parts because they didn't have those spaces defined. And I got sick of manually doing them one at a time for every part of a rocket. So I just wrote something that would just run and do that shit for all the parts automatically. And in memory. And then another dude who's a much better programmer came out with it and said, well, you don't need to run this every time. So he wrote one that was did the same thing, but it did it once and then it wrote it to a file. And then you never had to recalculate it. I was not smart enough to do that. And then I had a mod for Ark Survival Evolved that I did when I played that game a lot. I actually had multiple mods for that game. I had different food items. I added sushi to the game because how do you have a game without sushi?
Of course. I mean,
yeah.
How do you do anything without sushi?
I don't know, man. I mean, sushi is basic survival food. And so, which it kind of is, right? It's raw fish. That kind of is survival food.
If you're able to catch the fish on your own, it's a lot better.
I'm going to go catch me a tuna with my bare hands.
Okay, that's a video I'd like to see. How long this takes. Gene thinks this will take 35 seconds. The reality, 3 days later.
So you didn't let me finish.
No tuna.
In the Houston Aquarium, and because that's the only way you're ever going to catch tuna is in
the Houston Aquarium. Yeah,
but it's and I when I wrote those mods, I was like, great. I got them to the point where I liked what they did. They're up online for anybody to use. Next thing you know, there's like 1,800 people using one of these mods, which of course means there's about 18 people emailing me with shit this doesn't work. Or
Right.
why did you do it this way? Can't
Right.
you change that? Hey, how do I rename my fucking sushi to a different name? It's like, fucker, this is a one-off thing that I did for me. You didn't give me any money for this, and I'm not going to support it. And I got so sick and tired of hearing people send me stuff with requests that I just defaulted and in the description said, sorry, I lost the source code when my Mac crashed and I no longer can update this proactively, just to shut people the hell up, because I don't need to deal with it. I had another thing. This is going back to like 2008, I think. I was
the dark ages.
Yeah, the real dark ages. Back when I used to do Fortune 500 work, and I was the main architect for the Bear Prize Security Operations Center. So basically, the cyber security center at Bear Prize, and as part of that, I was trying to combine a bunch of security stats from multiple sources online into a widget or a simple one screen display. And so I basically wrote something that was kind of like a CURL that just grabbed different sites, parsed the text in there, the HTML, just kept the bits that had the data charts and the graphs and the info that I was looking for, and then threw it all together into a page. I mean, total kludge, very much a hack. Just did it to create this the one of the monitors that was in the operations center could display this in real time. And again, I put it out there as free to use thing. And I was running on, God, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was some kind of a Google thing. They had a deal where you can create these web-based executable things and you can reuse them. I can't even remember anymore. It's been so long. It's like 15, 18 years ago. Long story short, that thing was up running on my website that I had for a podcast I was doing back then, which was called secthis.com. It's been down forever, so don't search for it. And when 2 years after the podcast stopped being done, I got sick of paying for the website, so I started taking stuff down. And I took down the directory that had the widgets that did this stuff, that parsed security data. Oh my God. I started getting email messages from people, not an exaggeration, all over the world. I had only one from the US. I had multiple ones from Asia and Australia and Europe, and basically saying, hey, how come this thing's broken? My business
relies upon this.
Okay, so what you just said literally was one of the messages, and it was one of the ones from Asia. Is like, this had better be fixed immediately, or we're going to sue you because this is being used in a critical operation in our business, and you can't take this down without notification.
You're like bullshit.
What the fuck, dude? If that's where you're using it, well, how about you hire people that know a little more about what they're doing before they start using free unsupported products from the web,
which they hope will never disappear.
Yeah, exactly. So it was retarded. It was literally ridiculous. I had to change the results string to always say you are using a pirated version of this product. So everybody that was still using it started seeing that message instead of the data they were looking for.
Nice.
Of course, there was no commercially available product because they never made it.
You should have. You should have been like, how much you want to pay?
No, nobody would fucking pay for it. Look, it's support that ends up killing all good ideas. Bemrose can probably attest to this as well. You can come up with really cool shit that solves some problem, but then you pay for it because no good deed ever goes unpunished. You pay for it by having people bitch about things that are not working. So this is my long-ended version of saying, I get it. Aaroner's probably right. You're probably wrong.
Probably.
And your expectations should be 0.
I have no soul.
Well, we knew that.
Well, again, 105 episodes. If you haven't figured it out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And people have way too thin of a skin. DigiGuru says, I love the fact we have so much total drama for the No Agenda crowd. They create it, man. The crowd creates it.
They do.
Out of nothing. Bemrose coined the term, and I think it's legit. It's the Curry derangement syndrome. That is a new thing. And it's like, okay, we've all seen Trump derangement syndrome. This is very similar because there are people. I mean, granted, with Trump, a lot of them never liked him. But in this case, it's even weirder because there's a lot of people that were fans, that were producers, that were supporters who all of a sudden are like, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. It's like, wow, that's a quick change.
Yeah, I think this is going to happen to Taylor Swift at some point.
Oh, I agree.
Because when you have people that start becoming fanatical, as some of the folks that are No Agenda, fans were, there's only one place to go. And that is the opposite side, is to have complete and utter hatred. And Adam's been through this more than once. If you remember listening to Daily Source Code, Adam had a diesel Mercedes-Benz that was converted to run on recycled cooking oil. So he was way ahead of his time in terms of being green, right?
And it smelled good when that car drove by.
And it smelled like French fries. Yeah, the whole car's just because that's what you were basically running it on, is used French fry grease. And which is the cool thing about diesels, and why I don't know why they're not more popular in the U.S. than they were in Europe.
My dad had one for years, and it was a diesel station wagon.
Yep,
back before they were cool.
Ford?
I think so. Or maybe an Oldsmobile.
I think Ford is the only one that made a diesel station wagon that I remember.
It had to be a Ford. Then it had to be, because it was a wagon. He was a carpet rep, so the thing was loaded up. This was before SUVs were a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember there's like glow plugs in it. So in the winter...
Technically, we did have the Wagoneer.
The Jeep at the time.
The Wagoneer, which is a... Yeah, and the Suburban. We had both of those back then in the 80s.
There was no wood paneling. No, it wasn't the 70s show. Otherwise, you didn't have the paneling, it would look very much like that.
Yeah.
And I remember there were like glow plugs. So in the winter, if it got cold enough, those things like wouldn't start. It was very hard to start them.
Yeah, you had to warm up the engine before it could actually run. That's true. And technically, my Jeep, which is diesel, still has those, but it works instantly. But then again, the coldest place I've ever been is probably Aspen in that car.
Bemro says he just remembers them from the 70s, not from the show. I mean, you're old.
Yeah. No, he's right. That's exactly right. I'm not saying the show. I never watched the show. I just remember them being on the streets.
And No Agenda Millennial of the Beautiful MMO Show says, I'm hearing a lot of EDS today on the stream. See, well, it's not derangement about Aaroner, because I can back up everything I say with facts. And anything he has taken umbrage to, I said, well, just correct me where I'm wrong. And I'm happy to then take that further information into consideration. And I love when you're trying to have a debate with somebody, you're like, okay, just show me where I'm wrong. And they're like,
well, I think Bemrose can test this. Darren can be a dick sometimes.
Really?
So just take it into consideration.
I mean, what do you mean? Why are you asking Bemrose? I will confirm I can be a dick sometimes. I mean, I may even say a majority of the time, but I also like to deal in facts. And it's like, okay, if you want to have that argument.
I think the best way to deal with things that you're wrong about is with humor, because that works. Like you don't take things personally, and humor can diffuse the situation very well. And you can, kind of come out with differing opinions. Hell, that's what this whole show is all about.
Again, Cotton Jim was like, well, he's on your mind a lot. I posted, Srini, my buddy, posted something about me bringing the PDF story to Grumpy Old Ben's on Wednesday. And then Aaroner jumped into that thread, and that's how things got started there. So he's only on my mind because he just jumped into a thread like yesterday and was a dick. So that's why.
Well,
it just happened.
I would just
yesterday.
like to remind Aaroner that he can block your whole instance.
Don't care. Have fun. Enjoy that. Then you know what? He'll get everybody that's following me like, why can't I follow this anymore? What happened? And then all those support calls
your followers
would be worth it. Well, everybody that was on his instance.
You did figure out how to move it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because you were bitching about the fact that you couldn't.
Yeah, because it like broke, and I'm like, I needed you to reset the 30-day clock, and it's like,
oh my God.
I mean, that's not a direct quote. That was just.
I get it, but you're literally getting free tech support, or you're asking for free tech support.
Free's good. I get free tech support all the time, man.
Yeah.
It's exactly the way it goes. But I have love for every one of you
what
trolls.
You paid for.
I know you get just like with this show. You know how many supporters we had on this show?
Yeah, the appropriate number.
So you know if anybody has a problem with the content, what can they do?
Fuck off.
Yeah, and literally, when I hit that button, 10,000 Satoshis from Comic Strip Blogger, this is my farewell boostagram for this podcast. That I replace with Grumpy Old Ben's. Good content today, comrades. Visit www.csb.lol for cartoons without baboons. Yo, CSB. Yo. Thank you, CSB.
Last and final donation.